So how did you improve? How did you, became so fluent and, such a native with your language, with English, I
I
would say.
am I am a native speaker.
Okay, that is what
I
I was
was
asking.
born,
You were born in
yeah, I
India.
was born in Cape Town, South Africa.
Okay, nice. That is
I
what.
am a native English speaker. Hi,
Hi, Obeid. Am I pronouncing your name right?
absolutely correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It
You
might
are
be.
one of the few people who can actually pronounce my name correctly at the first go.
Okay, okay, because I never knew your name. I got to know it from Rishit today, and
Mhm.
I was just thinking if I'll be able to do it or not.
Well, you did it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. How have you been? How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for asking. How are you?
I am good as well. So my exams ended just yesterday, so I am
Oh,
feeling a bit relaxed right now. Like they
nice.
weren't too intense, and
Mhm.
I neither took them very seriously, but the last 10 days were a bit stressful.
What kind of exams?
English literature, last
I've got a
semester.
degree in English literature, but I did mine many years ago.
Okay, okay. So you have a rich experience now.
I didn't do it through a college. So
Okay,
what had happened was I was working with an organization in Mumbai,
okay.
and they had offered me, a kind of company sponsorship
Nice.
where in the 6 month contract that I had, I could take up this, but on the condition that I don't break the 6 months contract. So I
Okay.
said, okay, I'll give it a go. And I did that English literature exam as well as my IELTS exam as well in that period.
Okay, so you have done your MA literature from Mumbai?
It wasn't from Mumbai; it was actually from the UK.
Okay, so you have been living in the UK, then India, or India,
No,
UK?
no, no. So this was like a distance learning thing
Okay,
because
okay.
I had to juggle my work and my learning at the same time. So
Mm.
this was an on-site job in Mumbai.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's the reason I had to do that.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So I feel a bit relaxed and I allowed myself a little leverage today. So I slept
Mm.
a bit, then took things slow and spent some time editing one of my conversational videos. So I
Okay.
also made a thumbnail for that. Then I had lunch and now I'm talking to you. So it feels really good to finally have a day when you don't have any pressure or deadlines.
Yeah, I can completely understand what you're saying. Especially when you said the word deadlines, a person is like, hey, you've got to get this done by this time.
Yeah, you have to give your exam, you have to score good, no matter how seriously you're taking the exam, but you have to give your exam well.
Yeah, I know. I actually came across this picture yesterday. Okay,
Okay.
it had stated that in my time, like when I was in school, I
Okay.
used to get my marks in Celsius degrees.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
38 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius, and nowadays people are getting their marks in Fahrenheit, 99%, 70 and 97%.
You got
So
me.
it's like, yeah, people, because nowadays I was like, back then when I was in school, if somebody scored 75%,
Okay.
we would consider that person brilliant.
Yeah, highly
And
intelligent.
nowadays, exactly. And nowadays, if a person gets 75%, you're like, dude, you didn't study.
So if I'll tell you my university, from the university, I'm pursuing my literature. Now I have given my exam, fourth semester exam. So it's done and dusted now. But that university doesn't even take their students seriously. Okay. I don't know
Oh,
how
is it?
copies because I have been writing my exams like pretty well, you know,
Hmm.
pretty decent, I would say. But still, I don't know why they are not giving marks and they are not checking it seriously or something like that. I highly doubt their efficiency now.
Probably. You know, it's a thing where they take certain subjects more seriously than other subjects.
Maybe. Also, more
Because not a lot of people focus on English literature nowadays.
absolutely. And I would say when they don't take it that seriously, And when they are not trying to push you harder while giving marks or checking the copies, you stop taking your subject, like, that seriously. You know,
Yeah,
that's a
that's true.
process.
That's true.
Oh,
Because what I have noticed nowadays is that a lot of colleges, they are focusing on, see, a degree in English literature. It
absolutely.
doesn't cost that much, right? It doesn't cost
Yeah.
as much as someone who is probably doing accounting
Yeah.
or management, right? So they highly focus on the subjects that are getting them more money.
True. And I would say all the degrees that, like the MA degrees, if
Mm,
I'm doing an MA, I will have the same thing. Everybody who is doing an MA degree from my university must be facing the same problem I'm facing right now. So that's a
right.
very general thing, I guess. And I have just made peace with it. It's okay.
As
And
long as you have the degree.
true, true, true. But ultimately, you have to study hard because a degree won't,
Yeah.
take you anywhere these days.
Yeah, that is spot on actually. Because what I have noticed over the past like 8 to 10 years, even 10 years ago, when I started, like my career started 13 years ago, you could easily get a job if you had just passed your standard 12, right?
Yeah, true.
Nowadays, no one's going to give you a job if you just passed standard 12. You need at least a graduation.
Absolutely.
Even then, even then, a lot of companies are urging, they are pushing for people who have post graduation.
Absolutely. And
So,
then skill-based learning,
mm,
competency test, then you have a lot of things, coming these days. No matter how much you study, how many degrees you have, until unless you don't have industry skills, you might not end up anywhere.
that's true. I agree.
Where do you live?
Well, I used to live in Mumbai,
Mhm.
but for the past 2.5 years, I've been living in a small town called Chiplun,
That is
which is
near.
about, yeah, it's about 4.5 hours away from Mumbai. Where are
How's
you from? The
I?
weather?
Yeah, yeah.
The weather's beautiful. It
Okay.
actually, yesterday it was storming. It
Okay.
was raining heavily.
Okay.
And this morning there were like slight drizzles. About 15 minutes ago, it rained for 10 minutes, but now it's stopped, but it's still cloudy outside.
So I am from Sihor, Madhya Pradesh. Sihor is a small town near Bhopal, capital city of Madhya Pradesh, in the west area.
Okay.
And it is famous for its wheat production and
Okay.
spiritual and religious places. Not
Yeah,
many
I've heard of,
know
yeah.
about it, but if you know, that's a very big deal for me right now.
No, I've heard of them.
Okay,
They've
right?
got a lot of they've got a lot of big temples over there where people come for, these small kinds of pilgrimages and stuff
Yeah,
in groups.
actually, yes, yes. And it's quite cloudy and overcast right now here also. And it has started raining, but I doubt it will rain for long. Maybe a little, drizzle, and after that, the humid weather for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Hey, you know what happened in Mumbai yesterday?
No.
Um, in Mumbai, I just saw the post this morning actually.
Okay.
Um, so in Mumbai, it rained heavily last night.
Okay.
Okay. Last night, as in, I think around 8 p.m., 7 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
And the water levels on the roads were knee level.
Okay.
So people were walking through knee level water in Mumbai.
So
That's the
I
problem with Mumbai.
absolutely the drainage system. Yes,
Yes,
absolutely. I heard the
that's the
same
problem
thing
with
about
Mumbai.
Bangalore. I heard the same thing from Bangalore as well, Pune as well. The weather is
Yeah,
a bit fluctuating all the time in Mumbai, Bangalore, and Pune. It has been happening. And right now, the weather over here, because in the morning you see the bright sun, you get up,
mhm.
you seem to feel the bright sun, and in the afternoon you will see the overcast, in the evening again the humid weather, and in the night again you will feel that hotness of summer.
I know. And people tend to get sick because of this kind of weather, because of fluctuating weather.
I was sick for past 24 hours, I would say, no?
Yeah. I mean, because see, a person's body can't manage, you are basically giving all four seasons in one day.
Absolutely.
You're getting humidity, you're getting sunshine, you're getting raining, and then you're getting heat, right? Your body can't actually deal with all of this in one single day. So you tend to get sick.
Yeah, and I actually do not like summer season. I am not at all a summer person, I would say. I hate summer season. So right now when it's raining outside, I feel it's wonderful for me. But then I have to think about all the people who are working hard out there and all the farmers, because for them this is not a good thing. Okay.
Yeah, because it usually destroys their crops.
Yes, actually, that is what. I come from a family which is into agriculture and farming, so I can actually understand this.
Yeah, it destroys their, because there are certain crops like wheat, rice, they do not need a lot of water. And all of a sudden, when it downpours, when there's a lot of water and the water level rises, it completely destroys the crops. And the
That's
farmers who've been working months, to cultivate these crops, it just devastates them in a matter of hours.
And we don't even have a safe system so that we can save the crops and everything, no? So
Yeah,
it might be a lot disturbing for the farmers and everyone in their families.
I know. But what can you do? I think people are putting money where it's not supposed to go, rather than looking at having foundations for people who are actually the backbone of the community, like farmers. Um,
This would be one of the most, like you have just, dropped this topic. So this would be one of the most controversial. I know it's unconventional, but it is also controversial when we talk about people who are not putting money into the right things, but everywhere else.
yeah, I mean, even the city Chiplun, right? Um, even though it's developing, we've got problems like uh, we get water problems,
Okay.
as in there are a few months of the year where we do not get water in our houses properly. Okay. Um, Load shedding is a huge issue. So, like, there's one particular day where there's a guaranteed load shedding where the electricity will not be. Okay. And the rest of the 6 days, they do not give you. The lights will just go off. Okay. So, every house has to have an inverter. On a Monday in Chiplun, so Chiplun is one city where on Mondays, everything's closed.
Okay.
Okay. So, Monday, between around 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. There's no electricity.
Okay. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. no electricity.
Yeah.
So we face this power cut thing, on and off power cuts. And on Sunday, okay. So I am from Sihor, okay. And
Mhm.
here we face power cuts on Sunday. So whenever I try to keep my session on Sundays, it will be interrupted for sure. And I
Because of the
hope that
electricity.
our session won't be interrupted today because it's raining heavily now.
Oh, we've almost come to the end of the session and there's been no interruption whatsoever.
That's all. That's all. So what is the best thing, what is the speciality about Chiplun?
Oh, the mangoes.
Okay.
Because we are very close to Ratnagiri. And if you've heard of Alfonso mangoes,
Yes, Ratnagiri.
right?
Yes.
So our area, this entire I would say 150-kilometer radius, we
Okay.
are very famous for our mangoes.
Ooh. So I would love to visit Chiplun someday and Ratnagiri maybe.
Please do. You'll be my guest.
Sure, sure, sure. So how long you have been associated with Calpingo?
Almost 2 years now.
Oh, that's good. So how did you improve? How did you, became so fluent and, such a native with your language, with English, I
I
would say.
am I am a native speaker.
Okay, that is what
I
I was
was
asking.
born,
You were born in
yeah, I
India.
was born in Cape Town, South Africa.
Okay, nice. That
So
is
I
what
am a native English speaker.
I was about to ask you. Okay, because
English is my first language.
that is what I can actually feel that when you talk to somebody native, you can actually sense that.
Mm. Yeah, I know. So a lot of people, they like to have sessions with me because the reason being is because they get to speak with a person who is a native English speaker.
Okay.
Oh, so I am a native speaker. Um, in fact, I think I know about 5 or 6 languages: English, Hindi, Marathi, Afrikaans, Konkani. Yeah, these 5 languages.
Damn, multilingualism.
Yeah.
That is, I have heard that, I have also read researches and where they say if a person can speak more than three languages, they are tend to be smarter. Though you are.
I'm a Dumbo.
Okay. So
I'm a Dumbo.
everybody thinks of themselves like that. So when I started my channel, before that also, after that also, so I would call myself, I had this thing of calling imposter syndrome. Always
Mhm.
face this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think, every fifth or sixth person might be facing this. Even though I started my YouTube channel to come out of my comfort zone and start doing things on the internet, I was always facing this imposter syndrome thing that I might sound dumb, I might look dumb.
Can I tell you something as a native English speaker?
Oh, sure, sure.
You have absolutely no reason to have this imposter syndrome because you speak beautifully well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, you are a brilliant speaker,
Thank you.
and there's no reason for you to ever doubt yourself when it comes to your communication skills. Not only that, Rupal, there's another thing that people do not focus on, and that is body language, right? They think that communication skills are just verbal communication skills. I
Right.
would like to applaud you as well because not only are you good with your verbal communication skills, you are also good with your body language and your facial gestures,
Okay, thank
right?
you.
With your non-verbals.
Okay.
So I don't, you know, I don't think there's any reason that you should have this, this imposter syndrome where you doubt yourself or anything. In fact, I would look at you as an inspiration for people who want to learn the language.
Oh my God, that's huge. That's a huge compliment for me. So I would have my second question would have been how to get rid of this. But now you have filled me with so much of, inspiration and motivation. How do I ask that question now?
You, the question has answered itself. I
So,
mean, we had a wonderful conversation for the past 17 minutes. There was no dead air. There was no awkward silence. You know, the two of us, even though we are meeting for the first time, we are speaking as if we are best friends. Give me one good reason why you should doubt yourself. And you are
so
speaking with a native English speaker.
that's what I was asking you because when I started, I was about to ask you, where are you from? Are you from India, UK, India, or where are you from? Because that was, are you from South Africa, right? Cape Town.
Yes,
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So the thing is, I come from a zone where not even 1% of people would speak in English. Okay.
right.
Like I come from Siwan, it's a very small town. Okay.
Hmm.
So when I started speaking in English, people would judge me for that when we have a native Hindi, I am a native Hindi speaker. My mother tongue
Hmm.
is Hindi. So when we have Hindi, why do you have to speak in English with people? And that is one of the reasons I couldn't learn English at a certain age, I would say. Okay.
Right.
Because people would make fun of you for speaking that language.
Mhm.
Okay. And
Yeah,
people don't understand one more thing that even if you're speaking broken English, you need to continue speaking so that you can reach somewhere. Okay.
exactly.
Exactly. That is how, because I never stopped speaking. That is why I'm like sitting here right now and talking to you.
And I think you're doing a beautiful job.
Okay, thank you. Uh,
Anyway, Rupa, uh, it has been an absolute pleasure meeting you.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
I wish you all the best with your channel.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much.
Right?
I would really love if we can have more conversations like this in the future as well.
Please let Rishit know.
Sure, sure, sure. Thank you.
And I hope to see our video on YouTube soon.
Exactly, exactly. You will get to see.
All right, Rupal. Take care of yourself.
You too, you
Have a
too.
nice day.
Bye-bye. You too.
Bye.
Thank you.